Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a preview here of the new Escape from Kyln that's coming this week. And I want to show for you guys what we've done in the past. I'll link all my videos below as well in the guides. That's what we're going to be essentially going through because we've now gotten verbiage, especially from the newest blog post, that this new Escape from Kyln is going to be basically a continuation of what we've seen in the past renditions of this. Now they've added some more floors, which means that we can likely assume the past guides will hopefully work. And thankfully, they've been adding more and more, so it's just been a build up and continuation of that. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about some of the teams and synergies as well. What I'm going to have for you here is just a quick little overview, and then we'll go through each of the levels and what I used in the past, in addition to what's kind of upcoming and what we need to prepare for. So recall that Escape from Kyln now is going to be renamed to this Freedom Spire. So they always like to switch up the dynamic of it, but in nature, it's going to be the same. Instead of, I think the last time it was 52 cells, now it's 58 total cells. And what makes this a really cool and unique game mode is that you're only allowed 3 character squads. So at most, you're only allowed 3 team members, and you can actually separate them in the dynamic. But as well, remember, it's treated very similarly like a Scourge, where if one of them do fall, they cannot be pushed into the next level. So you do want to make sure that you're kind of watching HP as well. And it does look like all players level 60 and above are going to be able to participate. So really meant for that kind of mid-game transition to end game. And obviously, the better you do, the better rewards you'll get. And then just a reminder, there's some assault rules here as shown. But we're not going to go through that. Just whenever you guys get a chance, just know that this is very, very similar to how Scourges are run. So without further ado, let's go into the cells. Let's talk about what I worked for myself before. And like I said, I'm not expecting any surprises here. Where I am expecting changes are going to be the new cells that getting added, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But let's just quickly talk about how this starts off and what kind of preparation you can do potentially, right? These first initial cells, 1 to 19, I call them the beginner stages. There's not really a lot of stress here. It's really meant to kind of stress test those that are starting off in the game and transitioning to the early and mid game. But these enemies are not strong at all, and it's essentially just kind of a way to dabble for folks that are brand new, but as well those that already have built up rosters. You're just gonna auto everything. So first 4 cells, what you can do is prep is you can prepare characters ultimates such as Val, Rogue, Horseman. That was like, this is way back in the day, so this is when they mattered and whatnot. But essentially the messaging is still the same though. Bring up characters that you want to prep for energy wise, and you can also bring them up later. But as you can see, no restriction, Guardians or Infinity Watch, Avenger, Global Skill, City Mystic as Guardian. This is a very broad category of different teams, so you'll have no issues there if you're already in the mid game. Now, where it gets a little interesting and where you start seeing kind of pressure build up, and obviously the difficulty ramping up, is cells 20 to 29. This is where they get a little bit more specific on some of the categories, but again, still broad enough that you can theory craft and you can synergize. So these are some of the options that worked for myself before. Cells 20 to 22, requiring Spider-Verse tech or Spider-Verse skill, I found really good success with Sensor 6 Spire Society. You'll walk right through it. Then we have some of the more interesting ones like Global Mystic, characters like Morgan Le Fay, Agatha, Doctor Doom, Quicksilver Weaver. They do exceptionally well. And again, now we've actually had more characters added in since this Escape from Kyln has been now over a year. Next up, we have the villain mutants, where you probably need some of the stronger characters, right? Like in the past, we've had Apocalypse, we've had Omega Red, Archangel, Dark Beast, Nemesis. Again, this is the old meta, but you likely won't have any issues there now, especially since we have some of the more powerful characters there, Magneto and whatnot. So again, if you have them at gear tier 16, you're not gonna have any issues. Gear tier 15, gear tier 16, if you built up the previous horsemen, no issues. And then lastly, this is where the difficulty did start ramping up because of the specific isolation of hero tech. There's only so many hero tech characters, right? I'm thinking, Pegasus, Big Time Spider-Man, Shuri. So this is where it could potentially get a little bit kind of more difficult in terms of your roster selection, but you also need to elevate this even more, because what happens with cells 30 and to cells 40, they elevate that even more in 31 to 30 to 31 hero tech at gear tier 17. Usually what did it for me was Pegasus. There wasn't really a choice at that point. And then funny enough, 32 to 40 actually wasn't bad, because this is where you can use some of the best characters in your roster, right? Extreme X-Men, Rogue, and then 35 to 37 requiring legendary, some of the best legendary characters. And this was before we had, like, Shadow King and Old Man Logan can, solo the majority of it. So that's what I mean. It becomes quite easily, but if you don't, obviously the horsemen are great selections. Some of the older legendary characters. And then 38 to 40 used to be the first level limit for Kyln, which was utilization of Super Skrull, Zombie Iron Man, Zugs, Moonstone, Titania, Abomination, Carnage, Venom. There's only so many selections that are Villain, Bio, or Undying, right? But keep in mind too, we also have Zombie, Scarlet Witch now in this mix if you want to elevate her to be utilized. So this is a good stopping point. I think this is where you kind of started determining where you are in the end game, right? Anything beyond cell 40 is kind of where it really gets elevated in terms of, I'm talking about like gear tiers 18, gear tier 19 rosters are going to make it easier. And again, like if you're already in the end game and you're fully fleshed with those raids that you're doing day by day, you're going to have a lot of success here. So cells 41 to 43, Spider-Verse skill. Spider Society is actually probably the best option. I tried Craven and Black Hack in the past, and they just did not have success, right? Spider Society is going to absolutely walk the park with this, especially if you rebuilt them up for the Orcus raids. We have Cabal then for 44 to 46. I don't think Underworld's a good option. I think Cabal was really the only answer here, and honestly, you should be building up Cabal to the moon right now anyways, because they're required in legendary events. So, I mean, there's almost no choice there. Cabal just absolutely wipes the cake on those floors. Then we have 47 to 52 being some of the newer levels. This is what was added in the last rendition of Kyln, right? And what worked for myself, guys, was Orcus once again it was a walk in the park, 47 to 49. Don't even consider Alpha Flight. I think you can use Alpha Flight as a sack, but I think that's what I did actually. I think I used Alpha Flight as a sack and then Orcus cleaned up. But either way, Orcus is the answer. And then last but not least, 50 to 52, Annihilators can get the job done. Plus minus, I think I brought in actually Lady Deathstrike for the final cell, and she also provided value with my with my Annihilator team as well. So that's kind of the gist there, guys. This is where the last Kyln stopped, and now we could talk about the new one, right? This is the preview here. Cells 53 to 58. So Liberty or Mighty Avengers at gear tier 19, and then as well Liberty or Immortal X-Men at gear tier 19. Personally, guys, I'm probably going to do a wait and see approach. I think they probably want us to use Liberty here, but I want to see if we can squeak through with the Mighty Avengers or Immortal, because likely chances are often than not that you'll probably have already these teams built up, the synergy of Jean Grey and as well as Hercules. So not that I'm not willing to invest in Liberty, but it also depends. I need to see what this is going to get detailed in terms of rewards, right? Because it may not even be worth it. From cells 53 to 58 might not even be worth it from a reward standpoint, and that's why we have to wait and see what happens, because at most then you'll probably have to bring up 3 Liberty characters if needed, which is better than 5 obviously, but if Mighty Avengers or Mortal X-Men can get the job done, it's an investment that may not be needed. So that's kind of the hope there. We'll see what happens, guys, but let me know what you think, comments below. I'm definitely excited to get this game mode started, and I'll definitely have that gameplay. But again, guys, if you're interested in the guides for some certain floors if you get stuck, I will link everything below that we've done up until 52, which was the last Kyln event. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.